Hey there, everybody. Alright, so what I'm going to be starting for, I guess whoever's going to be watching this, probably nobody, but just to give an intro into what I'm doing is going to be playing the Forgotten Souls solo campaign, that is with the Descent Journeys in the Dark 2nd Edition. This is the cooperative expansion that comes with the game that you can actually play solo or fully cooperatively with a group of friends, because the Overlord is basically taken care of through the Overlord cards and peril cards. So that's what allows me to be able to play solo, is by following the rules in here and proceeding through the dungeon. So I'm not going to go into the details about how the rules of it work. You can possibly pick up how it's working as we play through. I'll try to explain the things just a little bit as I'm walking through, just so you can get an idea of what I'm doing and how it's played. So what I've done here is, and we're using Tabletop Simulator, of course, so this is all user-created content as far as the hero cards, the miniatures, the tokens that are put on the board. This is all done by several different users and just kind of all compiled into the same place. So everything I have on the table is everything I should need for the entire campaign, assuming I make it all the way through. I have yet to complete one all the way and win, but we'll never know. We'll see. Maybe this will be the time I get through. Anyway, so what I've done is I know all the tiles that need to be pulled for the game. So we set those over here. I have my tokens for conditions. I have my health tokens, fatigue, my hero cards, my unused class cards, and the two heroes that we're going to be taking through this adventure is the Orc of the Book, and he is going to be playing the Necromancer class, as well as Syndrol, I think I'm saying that right. He is playing the Knight class for this. As for the instructions of the game, all the heroes start with 1 XP to spend right off the bat. So in addition to their starting equipment, I've already spent 1 XP for Syndrael, which he has the advance, which is after defeating a monster with an attack using a melee weapon, exhaust the card to move up to your speed and perform an additional attack. So he has to exhaust 1 for that. And for Leoric of the Book, I gave him Fury of Undeath, which is exhaust this card to activate your reanimate. Your reanimate still activates this turn as normal, so it's kind of giving 2 activations to the reanimate, which is kind of cool. He also has his normal things of reanimate, which is bringing in the familiar, and these cards that go along with that as just a weapon. Let's see. This is our loot track. This is what's going to keep track of when we kill a monster. If it is, what are the rules? I have my rule book here. Let me just make sure I'm saying the right thing. So, I'm really trying to find the answers to that real quick here. Okay. So what we do is, first we need to set the amount of players that we have. So we're only going to be doing a 2-player game. So we're going to put our token on the 2-player spot. This one is for 3 players, this one's for 4. This is our Doom track. This is going to be if the purple token and the orange token ever occupy the same space, then the game is over. This kind of things can cause this to go back and forth, and kind of a tug of war with the Overlord at that. Over here is our loot track. For every monster we kill, depending on how many bases that it takes up on the map, as to how many hearts that we'll place. So if a figure occupies 2 spaces on the map, then we would put 2 hearts. If we kill one figure, if a figure only takes up 1 space, then we get 1 heart. Every time we kill an elite figure, we add 1 more token to the this track here. And when we get to sorry about that, I had to stop the video there for a second. Okay, so back to what I was saying. When we kill an elite figure, this will actually advance up for each elite figure killed. So at the start of the game, if we haven't killed any elite figures, but we've killed enough figures on the board that we've gotten to this spot, which actually has the 2 players on it, then we go ahead and draw our shop cards for however many fatigue tokens we have on this part. So it's better, the more elites we kill, we'll get to draw more of the shop cards before we get to this part here. So that's kind of how that works in a nutshell. These are going to be our monster activation cards. This is going to tell us what the monsters are going to do and how they're going to act. These are our peril cards. These are going to be drawn if there is no exploration card in play. We'll go over that in a minute. And these are our exploration cards. So we're going to draw these after we clear out the first ones we'll start drawing from this pile. Okay, so with all that said, I think we're going to go ahead ready. I've gone ahead and set up the map, the starting location for the onset. This is the first card we draw in the campaign. So we already have that one out. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is just kind of give you a little flavor behind this and kind of where we're going and what we're doing. This is Forgotten Souls. The small village of Summer Glade sits quietly in the shadow of a massive castle. You come upon the village in the hopes of replenishing your bodies and minds. Many dangerous encounters have left you tired and worn, but your resilience is unbroken. To your surprise, the town is devastated. Rooftops and walkways are covered in a black ash. There is not an inhabitant in sight. Whatever flame consumed this town, it has taken all that lives. Soon a shadow is cast upon you, and in the front of a setting sun a young boy emerges. He slowly comes up to you, a glimmer of hope on his defeated face. You came too late. The boy is weak and feeble. The dragon lives. I will show you. He slowly stumbles toward the castle entrance on the horizon. You follow. Once inside the stone walls, the entrance seals behind you, and the boy vanishes into the air. A grim smile spread across his face. There is no way out. Your only choice is to delve deeper into the dungeon's depths. So, our first location is the onset. And what that is as you make your journey into the dungeons, corpses that line the floor begin to writhe with life. Behind you, near the sealed entrance, monsters appear from the shadows. You must stand together. Each hero... Okay, so we've already done the setup on that. Now, the specific things in this room are that each time a hero enters a space that is not adjacent to another hero, the hero who entered that space suffers 3 fatigue. If there are no monsters on the map, discard this exploration card. And when it becomes the Overlord's turn after the heroes have activated, the hero resolves whatever is applicable into this section here. As you can see by the hourglass, if we have gone at the start of the second Overlord turn, because each time it's an Overlord turn, we place a fatigue token on this card to symbolize how many turns it is. So when it's gotten to be the Overlord's second turn, this go ahead and resolves the text that's next to it. So we know we have to advance Doom by 1. That would be this counter here. This would be advancing down towards us. And this discard this exploration card. So we have 2 hero turns to try to clear this card, discard this exploration card by killing all the enemies. And we know that we cannot, we can't basically get 2 spaces apart from each other. We always have to be in an adjacent space or we're going to suffer fatigue, so that's not going to be good. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start by taking the heroes' turns. We have 2 elites on the board, 1 Barghast. These Barghast, we'll have to just kind of remember that the tokens are weird in Tabletop Simulator. They don't have elongated ones like they actually are in Descent, but this one will take up 2 spaces, so we know when we kill him, we not only get to move this up 1, but we'll get to put 2 hearts on the map. Zombies are only 1 space creatures, but they both are elites, so we will go ahead and begin this. And let's see, I think the best thing he's going to do is definitely some attacking, because I do not want to suffer any fatigue for getting out of there. Now the best thing to do is the Auric has, let's bring these cards down here so I should tell us a little bit better about what we're dealing with. So we're dealing with Barghasts and zombies. Alright, so these 2 things we have on the map here. Zombies, the elites have 6 health, and the Barghasts have 6. They roll, this one actually has a terrible defense die, so the zombie's going to be easier to take out, so I think we might put some pressure on the Barghast to start with. Alright, so let's see what we can do here. Now, to get my Leoric of the book, he does have a ranged weapon, but he will also have to spend an action to reanimate his familiar token and burn and exhaust to do that. You may control one, so place your animate token in a space adjacent to you. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and activate Leoric, and I'm going to go ahead and do that as well. I'm going to activate his so we're going to tap that. So we're using his first action to reanimate his familiar, and he has to put that in an adjacent space. And where do I want to put that? Do I want to put it right here? Put it, see, he doesn't have a ranged attack. This one's purely for melee. Okay. I'm going to put the reanimate token right here. And that's his first action. His second action is going to be to attack. And this is actually going to attack the Barghast. Okay, so yes, we're going to range attack the Barghast, and he is going to get a blue and a yellow die. So we go to pull 1 blue, 1 yellow, and for, I don't have to roll, I can't zoom in yet. Okay, for range, we need 1, 2, 3, and I believe we got our range just fine. He did 2 damage on the Barghast, so he'll need to roll his defense. Barghast gets 1 white die for defense. And he rolled 2, so he took no damage from that. The Yorick is going to take 1 more fatigue so that he can move up here. And then his turn is done. The second thing we're going to do is go ahead and activate the familiar, and with the familiar, he can perform one attack action during its activation. And so we're going to attack the zombie. We're going to attack with a blue and a red. I think I already had those out. One red, blue and a red. And the zombie is going to be rolling a brown die. So we'll just kind of roll all those together. That's good. Okay. So we did, the zombie rolled 2 defense, so that kills out this one. However, there were still 2 out there, so the zombie has suffered 2 damage. 1, 2. Okay. 2 on the zombie. That's good. No surges. That would have been good. We did not get any surges on that roll. The final thing is going to be Sindrial's move. He is going to use 1 fatigue to move here, and he is going to spend the remainder of his 2 turns to attack. Advance 3 spaces. What is that here? Choose another hero within 3 spaces of you who has a monster adjacent. Okay, so we don't have that. After defeating a monster, using a melee weapon, exhaust this card to move up to your speed and perform an additional attack. Okay. So if we can defeat him, I may just be able to fatigue 1 and then get all the way over there to that zombie. Oh wait, no, I can't. I can't because I'd have to be an adjacent to. Right? Is that right? I have to be to another hero. Okay. So I won't be able to do that. So we're just going to do 2 attacks. He is going to be attacking with a blue and a red die, and Barghast is getting. Barghast suffered 4 damage. They have a total of 6, so he has 2 more. So I do 1, 2, 3, 4. And then he's going to use his second attack on that. Okay, so he blocked 1 damage, and still 2 came in, so that means 6. This Barghast is dead. Sayonara. So we've killed both a 2-space monster, which is going to give us 2 hearts. 1, 2, and we also killed an elite, so we move this up 1. So the turn for the heroes has been completed. I think everybody has gone. And we move to the Overlord turn. For the Overlord turn, it is in the Overlord effects. We can't do anything for Overlord effects, but apply 1 token to here, since it's the first Overlord turn. And the fate, there is an active expiration card, so we're not going to do any peril. But now we're going to do monster activations. This is where it gets a little fun. So I'm going to make sure these are good and shuffled. And we're going to draw our first monster activation card. Okay, so the only thing we have on the board are zombies, so that's the only section we're going to be looking at. Now, on the monster activation cards, first look at the zombies section and then see if there's any special thing that applies to them. It says each attack zombies perform gains +1, so they're going to get 1 extra hit. Now, the 2 sections here, when you see different colors, 1 brown and 1 red, The brown only applies to minions, and the red only applies to elites. So we can ignore this because we don't have any minions on the board. We only have elites. So we're just going to have to do what it says here. So the first action that the zombie's going to use is he's going to engage the furthest hero. And just want to make sure I have what the engage is. There's some special wording that comes with these. And engage is when an effect instructs a monster to engage a target. That monster performs a move action and moves towards the specified target. So he's going to go to the furthest hero. Furthest hero is Sindrael. The zombies have a movement of 3. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3. Alright, so he's gotten into range of Sindrael. And the next thing he's going to do is he's going to attack an adjacent hero. The adjacent hero is going to be either Sindrael or Leorc of the Book. So we kind of have a roll off on that. I wish I had a D6 here. Just see if I can bring in a D6 real quick. Dice, 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 dice. You think it'd be easy to just get dice? Oh, because that's dice right there. We just want 1d6. That's all I'm looking for. So, the orc is going to be 1 through 3. Sindrael is going to be 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so it's going to be the orc. He's attacking my mage, or my necromancer, I should say. He gets a white die for his shield, and the zombie is attacking with a blue and a yellow. I don't think there's anything I can do to negate that. Each monster within 3 spaces receives 1 health on all attack rolls to a minimum of 1. Okay, so he is going to get 1 less. So basically, it negates this plus 1. So it's just going to be a normal roll right out the park. Out the door, I should say. Alright, so good roll for him. We got 2 hearts, 1 surge. That surge is going to give him, what do we use on that? That's a choice. There are some special rules when it talks about surges. When a monster has a surge to spend, they should spend it in the priority listed below. If the monster spends a surge and still has an additional surge to spend, follow the list again from the beginning. So the list starts out as hero skills. A monster spends surge when a certain hero skills, hero abilities, or heroic feats require the monster to spend surge to attack. We don't have that. The next one is range. He does not need it because he's melee. The third one is special. A monster spends surge on special abilities only when it will have an effect on at least one of the monster's targets. Like, monster will not poison a hero who's already poisoned. Special surge abilities include all abilities that are not range, pierce, or damage. Okay, so this one is disease, so that one's going to be the first one used. So if the surge is going to be causing a disease, I only rolled 1 shield, so I negated 1 damage. 1 still came in, which means I'm damaged for 1, and I am diseased. Put that on the orc. And diseased is this one, I believe. Yes. So I need to add that over here. And this is at the start of my turn. I test my willpower. If I pass, I discard the card or token. If I fail, I suffer 1 fatigue and keep this card. Okay, so we're going to put this token on Leoric to help him remind him that he is diseased. Okay. So that finishes out the zombie's attack. Not too terribly bad. Could have been worse. So what we're going to do is we're going to discard this card. once we get done, we have to reshuffle them all through the deck. But actually, I think this actually goes back into the deck. Let me see that real quick. I apologize for cutting back and forth just to go, read rules, but it has been a long time since I have played this particular thing. I play Descent a lot, but I don't play the solo one, which does have its differences. So what I'm looking up now is to see if that's actually shuffled back in there. If the activation deck runs out of cards, the discard pile is immediately shuffled to create a new activation deck. Okay, so we're just going to leave that one to the side until we filter through all of these. Okay. So now the Overlord turn is finished, and we move on to the hero turn. Back to the heroes. Alright, what do I want to do? I think I want to go ahead and activate I want to activate the familiar first. I don't have a... He can't move. He can only move unless I use this one. Exhaust this card to activate the reanimate. Reanimate still activates this turn as normal, so that's still taking up one of Leoric's actions. Yikes. Yikes, yikes. Okay. I really want that search token. I don't know what to do. I can't move him. Because then I won't be able to attack with him, since he only has one thing he can do. Okay, this is refreshed, by the way. Trying to figure out what's going to be my best move here. Alright, so Leoric has a movement of 4. They both can move the same. 1, 2, 3, 4 to open that door. Because I believe it's an action to open the door each time. That's what I'm checking. When a hero performs an open door action, okay, so it's a... He has to basically make an explore action, which opens the door. Alright. So we need to make sure we're in good shape, otherwise we'll have to do a peril card if this card goes off the board and we go one whole turn without exploring. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate Syndrael first to ruin attack on the zombie. He's going to be attacking with a blue and a red. The zombie gets his defense die. Alright, so zombie only blocked 1, so still had 3 come in, 3 plus a surge. Surge is gonna, what is that? Forced. Okay, so I'm not gonna do a force reroll on that. That's death, I believe. It has 6, 2. No, he's not dead. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5. That's surge. It's not. I could force him to re-roll the die, but he could very well get a better result than what I gave him. Alright, so I'm going to use it anyway. I'm going to tell him to re-roll that die, so we'll see how it goes. Ah, yes! Okay, so now he took 1, 2, 3, 4 damage. 4 plus 2, he is dead. So we killed a 1 space zombie, and it was an elite, so we're going to move that up 1. So now we do not have any enemies on the board, so we're going to discard. Let's put down here. We'll clean that up later if I have to. Alright, so now we have the ability to move freely through here. So what I'm going to do, 1, 2, 3, 4, at the end of his activation. I can fatigue once to get there. Alright, I think I'm going to leave that. I think the big thing is going to be moving to this door to get it opened. Just because I've already suffered a lot of fatigue on these two guys. One's got 1, that one's already got 2. So we'll use his second action to go ahead and move up to the 4 spaces. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Still don't think he's in a good position to search yet. Because he's too far away from the door. I think you actually have to be on this tile here. Alright, so what we're going to do now is his turn is finished. We're going to activate Leoric, and he's got to take care of the disease at the start of the turn. I need to test my willpower. That test is done with a black and white die. And what we're trying to roll is a value of 2 or lower. So this is going to be, this might be pretty tough for him. Okay, so he failed. So he's going to suffer 1 fatigue and keep the card, so he'll have to take that next turn. So now we're going to go ahead and do our 2 actions. First action is going to be to move 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to do an explore action, which is the second action, which is going to take away this door. Let's put it right here. And what that does is immediately lets us draw the next location. Okay, so we have Hall of Riddles. I'm looking up the stuff for that. Hall of Riddles. A lengthy riddle is inscribed onto the door at the far end of the hall. The markings are handmade. The deep crevice is hollowed by an unknown hand. So we need card 29B. And that is going to go in what orientation? Okay, so we enter here. Stack a little better. Okay, good. We're going to enter here, and at the end of the hallway, we have another door. Okay. So in the Hall of Riddles, heroes can only recover health and fatigue from stand up and revive actions. Great. As an action, while adjacent to the door, a hero may test his knowledge. The book is knowledge. What was the other one, did I say? I think I was calling that the other one knowledge, but it doesn't matter. If he passes, move fate backward 1 and then discard this exploration card. If he fails, the hero suffers 4 fatigue, and this is the second time he has failed a test. He suffers 2 fatigue and discard this exploration card. After setup, which is what we just did, resolve 1 peril card. Okay. So we're going to resolve our peril card. Alright, so unforeseen forces lash their arms around your bodies, writhing, weighing upon your very souls. Each hero reduces all of his attribute values of 4 or higher to 3. Each time a hero fails an attribute test, place 1 fatigue token on this card. When this card has a number of fatigue tokens on it equal to the number of heroes, discard the card. The card remains active until it is discarded. Alright, so anybody with values of 4 or higher are reduced to a 3. So this one would be a 3. This one would be a 3. Alright, so this is the exact one we need to test too, so yeah. Alright, so what we need to do now is, now that we have this open, we need to continue on. Sindrael finishes activation out. Leoric moved and opened the door, which finished his activation out. And the only one left is my reanimate, which gets a whopping 3 movements. So we're going to move him 1, 2, 3. It's actually gotten further than everybody. And at this point, the hero's activation is done. So we're moving over to the second Overlord activation, and which is actually saying the puzzle continues to elude you. Resolve 1 peril card, so we get to resolve another peril card. Hopefully this doesn't stay with us forever. You turn a corner and see the massive Tharn disappearing into the distance. You push forward, but the dungeon's halls are endless. It's becoming harder and harder to breathe within the stone walls. Your fate may already be sealed. Advance doom by 1. Alright, so we're going to advance our doom counter by 1. And that card has resolved itself. So the Overlord turn is... Wait, was there any monsters in this room? I guess I didn't check to see that. The Hall of Riddles did not have any monsters in it whatsoever. Okay, so there are no monsters to activate, so we don't need to draw any activation cards. And now we're going to move to the back to the hero's turn, since the Overlord is finished. Let's see which one has a better... First thing we need to do is test his knowledge, or test his book. So he has a 3. He also has a 3, so it's pretty much anybody's guess. Sindrael can move 4 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4. He would have to basically burn another fatigue to get to the door. Let's see if Leoric has a better chance of actually just using his normal actions without having to burn anything to get there. But first, let's go ahead and test our... I forgot what that thing is called. Willpower. Maybe that's willpower. Strength, willpower, knowledge, something else. I'm going to call this one willpower. So he's going to have to roll a 2 to get this off of him. Okay, and he did it. He finally got it. His disease off. I'm going to put that back there, so he's no longer diseased. And next thing we're going to do is we're going to move his 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to test our knowledge, which is a 3 because of this card. Actually, no, with this one right here. I love how that just complemented each other so much. Alright, so we failed. First fail. The hero suffers 4 fatigue. Alright, so this is going to put some damage on me. I can already feel. So 4 fatigue. I can only do 5, so I can suffer 2. 1, 2. And the rest is going to have to be damage. So 2 damage. And then on me. 1, 2. Alright, so that was my second action. The Syndrael is going to burn 1 fatigue to get close. That's his 1 fatigue, and then he's going to move his one normal action of movement. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he's also going to use the test, which he is sitting at the same one. He needs a 3. Or lower, I should say. Okay, so he got it. Alright, so at this point, we can go ahead and discard this card, this exploration card. I believe this one stays with us. What was that? Each hero reduces all his tribute values of 4 or higher each time a hero fails in a tribute test. Place 1 fatigue token. Okay, so this will be for the one failure that Leoric did. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to draw my next exploration card. See where we're going. Trash heap. Okay, let's look it up. Trash heap. An unbelievable stench hangs in this dreary space. The aroma is intensified by an extreme heat coming from the far side of the room. These are more of Tharn's followers, blocking the way to the locked exit. A magical key crafted from a dragon's scale lies in a large mound of filth, but if the dragons are defeated too soon, the key will be lost with them. Alright, so this is going to be a fun one. So let's go ahead and pull map 2B. It's this one. Okay. Need to kind of see where it's going, or what orientation I have to put it in. Okay, so this is the one with little bones. So it's going to go like this. Good. Now we need to place one of the dragons. For a 2-player game, it's going to be on the other side of these bones. Might take up, the dragon I believe takes up 6 spaces. Okay, so we're going to need to remember that. I don't know how to represent 6 spaces. Okay, I guess that'd be the best way. Where they take up a hefty amount. But it shows the orientation of the dragon to be this. So they're taking up, oops. It's like that. Alright, so he's blocking the exit out towards the door. I need to copy this one. Put it over here. And the door is going to be right here. The other things to put in are 2 search tokens. One here and here, I believe. Make sure that's good. Nope. It's actually like this. Okay. Yes. Okay. Now we have it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get all this laid out, and go ahead and cut the video here, since this has been 2 rounds and we're starting our 3rd round. So I need to make sure to note that. But yes, we're starting our 3rd round, and it will be. I'm trying to think. We still need to do the setup for this card. We need to read that and see if there's anything we need to do for the beginning of the turn. And where did we leave off? Sindrael, Bjork. He did a move, and he did his failed attempt to open the door, so his activation was done. Sindrael fatigued once, moved, and then did an explore action, so his turn is done. So the only one we have left to activate is our familiar, and then as soon as we do that, it will go to the Overlord's turn right away. And then we also need to resolve what's on here. So once we come back, we will begin round 3 after we've kind of done the cleanup in that. I'll see you then.